Well, hey there, everybody. Just checking in. Let me turn some lights on here. Yeah, just wanted to pop in and say hello to you guys. So I'm going to wait till a couple people show up and then we'll get started. Nothing major going on at the beginning of wisdom. Hey man, how's it going? Doing all right? It's just you and me. Chance, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. I haven't been on here in a while. It's not you, it's me. I know. Ray, I am. I am well and happy. A lot to be happy for. Chase, how's it going? All right. Lots of folks here tonight. So, happy Tuesday to you. So, wanted to pop on here. This will kind of be a short one. I'm happy to answer any questions if you guys have any questions. If you have any thoughts you want to share, I'm happy to hear those. But I came on tonight only a couple things. The next starting this weekend, I leave for Vegas for a week of work. Going to Vegas to work. And when that week is over, I will be thrilled that it is over. Uh, I don't know how many of you have ever been to Vegas before, but a week in Vegas is a month anywhere else. That city will chew you up, man. And there's just never a good place to sit. I will be working, so I will basically be quote unquote on from morning until night. Um, yeah, so it's gonna be a crazy week. So your thoughts and prayers would be much appreciated as I'm out there. Um, yeah, it's crazy. Um, I can't say I'm not a little excited about it. I'm a little excited. I'm always happy to be able to see people face to face. So to see customers and that I haven't seen in a long time will be nice. I have some presentations that I'll do, and I think those will go well. So whenever I can be in front of an audience, speaking or presenting, I'm always very very happy. But the truth is, like, preparing for this week has consumed a great deal of my time. So that's part of the reason, like, I haven't been on here. It's still very true, ladies and gentlemen. It's still very true that I find myself at a time right now where I'm ingesting quite a bit, and in turn, I haven't been really producing anything. But I just pray that you will be patient with me, and I promise you that it will come. You're going to be in Vegas October 27th to 29th. Yes. That sounds great because I've been to Vegas in the summer and it's unbearable. So I'm hoping that next week the temperatures will be good. I keep meaning to look at the weather, but be that as it may. So again, that's to say, I promise you, I will be presenting stuff again in the future. I've not forgotten our study of Galatians. I haven't put a lot of Adventist stuff up as of late, only because I'm a little, I don't know. I'm a little tired of it. I mean, if ever somebody has a question about it, I'm happy to answer questions. And you know me, I always get riled up. But uh, thanks, Chance. So, but I will be presenting. I will be posting material. I promise. So you might be wondering, well, what are you consuming as of late that might be of interest? So a couple things of interest that I'm consuming. I'll show you this series of books. Uh, Sorry. So these are the expository commentaries that Sproul put out. Um, I read Matthew earlier this year. I'm currently on his book in this series on the book of Acts. And so I've been enjoying that. We just got into Acts where Saul of Tarsus has just had the intervention with Christ. So I enjoy Sproul's insight on that. It's not prophetic. He's just giving you his opinion. So I enjoy those. And I finished Revelation, which I talked about previously. I'll show you that again. I finished Revelation by Richard Phillips. Amazing commentary, also expository, but so eye-opening, truly. So if you have interest, I would recommend that to you as well. But I I I told my wife, I said, I'm about to finish this book on Revelation. I need to find a new book. And so the church I attend, Parkside Church, is where Alistair is the pastor. Um, what I told my wife was I want to find another book. So we went into the bookstore and I came out with this, which I have a copy of it, but this is a clean copy. So I bought another copy of Mere Christianity, and I'm thinking this might be a good book to take to Vegas as I'm out there because I don't want something big and bulky. Um, so I may take this with me to Vegas. So I'll set that aside. But the book that I bought most recently, like how recently? Sunday. I bought it Sunday. I went back for the Sunday evening service. And here's what I want to tell you. If you haven't had a chance, I would recommend that you try to track down um, Alistair's newest series that he's doing right now. And the only way I could describe the series is because if you've ever followed him or heard him, um, he'll do entire series like on the Book of Jude or on um, Ezekiel or whatever. But he's doing a series on it's the Gospel of John, but he's not doing like John chapter 1, verse 1 all the way through, which is what he normally does. But he's staying in the book of John and he's looking at the verily, verily, I say unto you. Verily, verily, I say unto you. And so this past Sunday, he got into John chapter 3 when Nicodemus comes and visits him at night. And he says, Lord, it's clear, Lord, that, you're doing some miracles. So obviously there's something behind it. And Jesus just almost seems to ignore him and says, verily, verily, I say to you, in order for a person to see the kingdom of God, he must be born again. And Alistair talked about that verse, verily, verily. And listen to me. It was a great sermon. It was a fantastic sermon, and I felt that it kept getting better as it continued. And it's oh my goodness, its ending was so incredibly powerful because what he did, listen to me, what he did was he read Spurgeon. And he read Spurgeon's story of his conversion. It it is an amazing story, and, you know, I'm saved, I've been born again, but I still sat there and listened to it with tears in my eyes as he said it, and I said to my wife, "I'm getting that book. I'm getting Spurgeon's biography, his autobiography." And so I went to the bookstore where they have this. It's actually in 2 volumes. This one is the early years, this is volume one, and he has another one. I can't think of the name of it, but there's a volume two, and it's not like a normal autobiography because he didn't sit down to go, all right. So as a young boy, da, da, da," he basically he and his wife, who I think are the ones that compiled it. Um, eh, he would just kind of write things from time to time about his memories or his life and things like that. And so it's just like a combination of things. But you just have to understand why I felt so moved to go out and buy this book. It's because of what Alistair said. It's pretty remarkable. I want to share something else that I it has been on my heart, and I've thought about this a lot. Um, I'm definitely at a point where I'm a lot more comfortable now, I think, acknowledging that something really dramatic happened in my life this past May. There wasn't a great light or anything like that. It wasn't anything like that. But the only way I can describe it to people is to say there was such a dramatic change within me. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can't do anything else on this channel, I will just tell you honestly. I'll just try to be as transparent as I possibly can. I've struggled with pornography my entire life. I struggle with pornography and everything that goes along with it. I've struggled with it my entire life. I could tell you stories about um, the dark places that pornography has led me through the years. And if you're wondering, hold on, Scott, are you even saying like when you were a believer back when you were an Adventist? Yes, yes, struggle with pornography even then. There was obviously times that it had a far greater grasp on my life than others, but nonetheless, I was never really free from it. Never really free from it. And all I can tell you is that on that day in May, I was mentally preparing for my interview with Miles on answering Adventism, and Miles strikes me as 100% real deal Holyfield, real deal Holyfield. This is a man who has been born again, who is filled with the Spirit, and you can't be around somebody like that for a long time without, you know, there being some effect, either drawing you close or pushing you away. I don't know how you can be around a person like that and just be, meh. And all I can tell you is that on that day in May, you know, it was like God's like, and we're done. Meaning, meaning, not I'm done with you, but meaning we're done playing around. You get on here and you can make these arguments against Adventism, and that all seems fine, that all seems good, but you're playing around. And you all need to understand, as an Adventist, I preached when I left Adventism, I preached, and there was really everybody needs to hear what I'm saying. There was really a part of me that thought, well, because I'm preaching, because I preach these sermons and I can get very emotional, and it's genuine. Like the things I feel, it seems genuine. Um, I think that for a long time uh, I believed that I clearly I must have been born again. And maybe I was. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I wasn't. God knows, I don't know. All I can tell you is, on that day in May, when God said, "And we're done," from that day forward, there has been 0, listen to me, 0 pornography and everything that goes with it. Um, and it hasn't even been a thing where, like, I've had to, like, well, you gotta put some kind of app on your phone to be held accountable, or you need to ask a buddy. It's been none of that. This was not a thing in May that I'm like, "Doggone it, I'm gonna stop it." Like, the desire, this is not to say I don't have a sex drive. Surely I do. What I'm saying is the desire for that, the desire for that thing, gone. Now, I'm not. And so what I'm saying to you is, what I'll say to you exactly what I told my wife, because I'm trying to even express it to my wife that she can understand why I believe, why I'm so stunned, what's so remarkable about this. And I explained to her, Honey, this may hurt your feelings, but I have to tell you this." And I think I must have told her this maybe like in end of July. And I said, it's like 2 months, or at that point in time, 2.5 months. And I'm like, that's the longest, in my recollection, that's the longest period in my life. So I can vividly remember when pornography was first introduced to me. And I don't know about you, those of you who struggle with it, I wonder if you as well, if you can remember the first time. My dad was taking we had a bunch of trash, and we had to take this trash to, how appropriate, to a landfill. And so we had this work van, and it was filled with trash. And my dad and I loaded that trash into that van. We get in that van, we go driving out, we pull into this landfill, and my dad pays the money. We go driving back into this landfill. It was gross, it was disgusting. And I remember he pulls into where this guy said to pull in, and I get out my side, and my dad gets out his side, and it seemed like all the ground around me was covered with pornography. Ladies and gentlemen, I can still see it in my mind to this day. And I wanted to do nothing but look at it. That's all I wanted to do. I could, so, and I must have been 12, 12 years old, 11 or 12 years old, still very, very young. And it was graphic, some of the stuff that I saw that day. And it's had hold ever since. But something happened in May. And here's the thing I want to tell you. I would sit in here at my dining room table. I still sit there in my morning, and that's when I'll read. I read, I pray, I read some more. And one of the things that I prayed was, Lord, I want to be able to say that I genuinely love Jesus, that I have a deep affection for him. I don't want to love the idea of Jesus. I want to love him. And I don't think I can do that on my own. But I am asking you to lead me to that place where I fall in love with that man. I fall in love with God. And you might recall on some of my videos since then, I've spoken a few times, I feel like living my life through the gospel. And that's the key. My son, my youngest son, he'll turn 18 on the 30th of this month. What does that mean? It means he becomes an adult. It also means it's been 18 years since I left Adventism. And I never knew the gospel. And so in turn, I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think I loved and was deeply moved by the idea. I was in love and I was deeply moved by the idea of Jesus. But it's only when I understand the gospel, when I understand who I am, how completely, comprehensively worthless and wretched I am. It's only when I understand that and I see that he died for me, then there's true love. I could give this concept, I could give this idea lip service all day long, and it would move me and it would move the people in the church. I witnessed it. But I don't think I had ever truly grasped it. I had never truly grasped it until now. And he has answered that prayer for me, and I am so eternally grateful. Eternally grateful. So those are some things that's kind of been going on in my life as of late, since May. So with that, I'm going to look through the chat here and see if there are any questions that popped up that I could answer. Can you give me Sproul's thoughts on the Jerusalem Council in Acts 15, Ray? I read today that Paul wrote Galatians in AD 49, a short time before the Jerusalem Council. It's a fascinating story. I'd love to know where you saw that. As real men, we must work aggressively to honor women for their real intrinsic value, respect and honor them. Oh, Ray, is that not true? Is that not true? Yeah. I tell you what I will do, Ray, because the book's in the other room. I'll get a hold of it and I'll do a video. Maybe while I'm in Las Vegas, I'll do a video. Wouldn't that be great? Share the gospel in the middle of Sin City. Yes. All right. Well, hey, everybody. Like I said, this video was just to touch base and to see how you guys are doing, to let you know how I am. So, one more thing. Tomorrow, I think it's Thursday night. Jesse, if you're still on here, I do believe it's Thursday night. Test the Prophet is doing his interview with Miles on answering Adventism. And I really want to recommend that you guys check that out. If you can't watch it live, be sure and watch it afterwards. I know that Test the Prophet is nervous. He has a great deal of content that he's going to cover that night, and he's a perfectionist, and so he wants everything to be right. He's not like me. Test the Prophet will never just go live. Test the Prophet will never just talk off the cuff. This is my wheelhouse. It's what I do. But if you could be on there on Thursday night to support him, I think that'd be great. And just keep Test the Prophet in your prayers. He could really use them. So with that being said, God bless you guys. Thanks for all your support and being here. And takes care, Scott, in Sin City. I gotta make money. I never gamble, and I get in and get out real quick as possible. I eat the great, but yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, everybody. You guys take care. God bless you, and we will see you next time.